ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. Greetings to one and all. Hope you are happy and healthy and peaceful wherever you are. Thank you for joining us. With the clock change, perhaps people have waiting till 6 o'clock all time, but hopefully we will have our regular contributors with us today. So we are now in the dark nights. The dark nights are here upon us. We are in the second lockdown. And as we've anticipated as far back as March, that this by autumn, by the dark nights, things will start squeezing us. And you've seen the stupidity, certainly in the UK. And if you can't see it, then either you're not living in a reality that is common to everyday human beings, or you're asleep. So now you in the UK where you can't buy certain things. So you can't buy bedding, you can't buy clothing. I mean, surely, this must ring some alarm bells. This must allow us to say, maybe what's this got to do with COVID? What's this got to do with this disease that we are being frightened from? And we are learning more and more as the days are going on. It's no longer conspiracy theory, it's conspiracy realism. Those people who had those cuckoo ideas, well, here they are. They are manifesting before your very eyes. So the time has come now to look at the fact that cases do not represent deaths. And anyone dying and within 28 days of their death has to be registered as COVID death. I mean, surely that must ring some alarm bells. Surely the medics out there, the so-called professionals, were you not trained to treat patients and not cases? And today, the entire country has been locked down because of cases. And when we know that the test itself is providing false positive results, only 7% accurate. And most of those cases are asymptomatic. And in fact, the test that has never been developed for this COVID testing is being used to determine what the current state is. And the media is complicit, as we've been saying to you for months, that the media is complicit. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, mainstream media have deliberately suppressed what you'd call alternative narrative, let's just call it that, asking questions of the system narrative, bringing counter scientific evidence, say, for example, to do with the masks, anything like this. Or for example, the latest one being in the American elections with Hunter Biden and his allegedly his laptop containing extremely disturbing child abuse. All of this is suppressed, yet this evidence can be found in other places. You have to ask why. You have to ask why. Because if you don't, then you deserve what's coming to you. You definitely deserve what's coming to you. And what's coming to you is a stricter regime, a much stricter regime based on, and I still call it now a scam, based on a health crisis that doesn't exist, based on a fear that is non-realistic, based on constant propaganda which makes the lie the truth. And now we are in that moment. So unless we wake up, unless we begin to question and say, hold on, this does not make sense. This does not make sense. Let's look at the real figures. Let's get some reality in. Let's identify who's being paid by who before you listen to what they're telling you. If you think these leaders of ours are here to look after your best interest, then it should come to you as no surprise, or perhaps a surprise, that it is not possible to feed 1.4 million children in poverty in the UK during a half-term break of 8 days, 7 or 8 days. But it's okay to spend £7 billion, £7 billion on something that is no more effective, surely. Or is it just now, that's okay, doesn't matter, my children will pay for it. Well, your children ain't going to be able to go anywhere. There isn't an economy left. Already, with the second lockdown, there are predictions and there are statements made by business leaders that 50% of the businesses may not be viable in the next 3 to 6 months' time. Nearly 60 to 80% of the current businesses rely on government funding of some sort. Surely, this must be allowing us to question the situation. All right. So we maintain this narrative, we maintain this critical thinking, because otherwise we become complicit. We become complicit in an act of mass deception. We become complicit in that which is so barbaric, which is so inhumane, that our own consciousness will not allow us to live with it. We will live with the fact that over the last month, 6 to 8 university students have committed suicide. We will live with the fact that many of our children will live in a paranoid world. We will live with the fact that an entire population generation will be going through post-traumatic stress disorder because they weren't able to recognize the stress they were being put across. And we will live with homelessness. Well, if you think in the sake of protecting you with a virus is equivalent to all of this damage, then you're a friend. And you are a fool to yourself and to everyone else. And life will teach us sooner or later that our actions count. So these talks that we've been doing is to maintain, and I'm so grateful for all those that have maintained a sense of balance, improved their immunity, developed their skills, understood situation, not because someone was telling them, but did their own critical thinking, did a bit of investigation, and started to learn that the narrative that's out there does not make sense. But you know what? This is a fantastic, fantastic thing that you have done. You have already crossed. You have already stood in your truth. And your truth is very similar now to what moves further. It just matures because you have taken that sovereignty. Remember, we started with self-actualization, self-realization, self-sovereignty. This process of awakening not to the world, that's happening by itself. You don't need to worry. It's going through a purge. No need to worry. What you need to be focusing on, and I need to be focusing on, is what we're awakening to ourselves. We're awakening to what we are. We're awakening to what it means to be human. And we're awakening to the fact that our truth, when we stand in our truth, not in our belief, remember that. You don't stand in your belief, you stand in your truth. When we stand in our truth, we have already made the statement. And the truth is what? I'm not buying this rubbish. The truth is what? Not because I've been told or I'm frightened, but because I've done my research. I'm able to think beyond what I'm being told. And that standing in the truth is your ground, it's your foundation. From that, everything begins. What begins? What begins is the rejection of the narrative, absolute rejection. Unless you know it for yourself, it ain't the truth. That's it. Rejection. Two, making sure that you are grounded in yourself through your practices, through your meditation, qigong, yoga, etc. Make sure that we connect with human beings around us. We treat people as human beings, not as contaminants. We're not afraid of each other. You're going to die when you're going to die. There's no two ways about it. The mask may protect you from the virus, my friend, but what will protect you from death? What will protect me from death? That is inevitable. If it's not today, it may be in 100 years' time, but it's inevitable. Wear a mask today or not ain't going to make much of a difference. What will make a difference is your attitude to life. And life only becomes meaningful when we recognize that life is finite. Right? So we are here now where we feel we can take some practical steps because we have grounded ourselves. We have the foundation. So what are the practical steps you can take? The practical steps is first to make sure that you connect with your divinity within. Recognize that you are part of something sacred. You are part of something huge. You are part of consciousness expressing itself in its truth. That's what you are. No different from that. That's what you're embedded in. You are no different to the ocean that you as a wave are emerging from. You are no different from the ocean. And once you recognize your essence is not the ocean, it's not the wave, but it's the wetness of the water. Once you recognize that your strength, your very foundation, your source, and source doesn't mean what was at the back, it happened a while back. Source means that which is happening now. You are kept alive like I am kept alive right in this moment. That is the source. The source is here. The source isn't there or over there. It's here, right now. So when we can recognize that, that gives us the trust. That gives us the strength. That gives us the ability. And for those who have a tradition, a system, connect with that. Use your um, methodology. So if you're a Hindu, you might pray to the various matas. If you're a Christian, you might pray to Christ. If you're a Muslim, a Sufi, whatever. If you are just a regular human being who has no belief system, then you will recognize your own special sacredness. And what do I mean by sacred? I mean there is a specialness in you being here. That's what the word sacred means in this moment. It is special. It is special for you. It is unique for you to experience life as you experience it. It's unique. No one else will be you. No one else ever can. No one ever will. So in this moment of now, in your uniqueness, where are you going to go? What are you going to do? So we can support those who have taken it upon themselves to go out and challenge the situation. And all those protests that are taking place in Berlin, in Spain, in Italy, in London, in Melbourne, around the world, why are they taking place? If they're all afraid of dying from the virus, why have we got this? And why is there so much suppression? Why don't we hear this? Because it will wake you up. It will wake you up to what's actually going on. Do not sleepwalk into this narrative. Do not sleepwalk. You will be accountable to yourself. You will account. And regret is one of these things that when we know something is right and we fail to take action, bad things happen because good people turn their backs. And this is what determines who is on what side. This is a case of an attack on humanity. It is something, and in time we will see this, and I know it may sound absurd today, but it's an attack on humanity. An attack that is about enslavement, an attack that is about control. Why? And the narrative that's being used is a false narrative. It's a false narrative. More people are now dying of heart attacks, of undiagnosed cancer, of strokes, of ailments because they're afraid to go to the hospital. So when the medicine is worse than the disease, then the patient is an idiot to take that. Then the patient does not value their life. When the medicine is worse than the disease, the loss of economy, the loss of freedom, the loss of lifestyles, the loss of schooling, the loss of common decency between humanity. That is the effect of this medicine that the world is happily taking today. Happily opening their arms, please give it to us. And soon enough, there will be those who will be begging for the vaccination too. But time will tell where we are. And it's about recognizing what's going on and recognizing that you are not alone in thinking this. There are many others, and everyone that's thinking this, everyone that has this thought sends a ripple, and that ripple affects the darkness that is holding things before. But it's going to break. The bigger picture, not to worry about it. The bigger picture is we just need to take responsibility for the moment, right? Because this moment will determine. At the end, things are going to turn out to be absolutely perfect. In fact, better than we could have ever anticipated, because so much of this corruption is going to be exposed, and so much of these systems are going to collapse as they're collapsing now, right? So all good. Bit of a painful journey from here to, the end result. But in that, what will determine how we feel afterwards will depend on what we did here now. How we feel then. We may have all that we have. We may have all that we ever want. We may have all the freedom. But if we know we supported the wrong side, if we know that, then my friends, you have to live with that. You have to live with that. And therefore, this is not a small statement to take this stance, because it's about living with your conscious. Not consciousness, conscious. Your ethical space. And if you are on the wrong side, then time will tell. And we have to live. We can't run away from ourselves. We can't run away from ourselves. And in the words of Bob Marley, he says, you can't run away from yourself. You must have done something wrong for you not to find a place where you belong. So if we make the wrong choice when our heart is telling us something, and what your heart tells you is the right choice. What your heart tells you is the right choice. And listen to your heart, because the end result of this is profoundly beautiful. But to go through it, we are all, as human beings, being tested. Where do we stand? Where's our integrity? Where's our proof? Where's our truth? Let's hope we all find this peace. Let us all use wisdom to move, to light the path we want to walk, that which brings us together, not that which separates us. And for all those people in power who are willingly depriving children of food simply because they can, this is an act of inhumanity. And this is something that you need to reflect on. And for each one of us to hold our politicians accountable, to hold them accountable. For the UK, they can claim expenses, they can claim subsidized meals, but they can't feed children from deprived areas. This is unacceptable. And I will also send a message to the Sikh community. We have all these temples that feed thousands. We need to play our part. We need to play our part, but hold them accountable. All right, let's move into our meditation. And today, what we were going to do is again, we're going to go into that space, the place of peace, silence, stillness, the best we can. And in that space, just sitting in that space allows us to make a difference to the current paradigm. So, as usual, close your eyes, close your mouth. Just move your neck a little bit so it's a little bit loose. Shoulders are relaxed, they're not hunched. Pull them back a little bit. Make sure your back doesn't feel stiff, so move it around a bit. And when you're ready, with your eyes closed, mouth closed, and of course, if you can't breathe in through your nose, breathe in through your mouth. Draw a slow, deep breath in and bring your focus to your inner space, your inner climate, I call it. Anṭʰā, the inner knower. Begin to know the inner. Begin to sense your body. So here you're not imagining your body. You're not thinking about your body, but you're just sensing the wholeness of your body. Notice anything dominant in the body, like a pain, an ache, a tightness, an itch. For meditation, the initial stages is just to cultivate awareness. So we're going to do this by focusing on our body first. And whatever you can become aware of cannot be you. So as you look at the body, begin to notice the body. Notice any place of tension, tightness. Now take a moment, reflect, and just notice what kind of thoughts you have or have been having. On your next breath in, bring your focus to the chair or the floor, wherever you're sitting on, and allow your body to be held in place. Notice how well it's held. Notice that you can't be anywhere else. You can only be here. And the moment of now is always a moment of balance. It's that which creates harmony. It's that which creates balance. So recognizing where we are, the here, recognizing the environment you're surrounded by, that the air you breathe can only be found where you are. Can't be anywhere else. And the breath that you breathe out now will be round the world by the time we're at midnight. Everything is connected. Focus on your breath. Notice how the breath goes in, goes out, holding you in this place. On your next breath in, bringing your focus back to the seat you're on. Notice the sensations. As you breathe in, move this focus upwards. As you breathe out, allow this focus to move down your thighs, from your knees, move this focus down to your ankles, moving to your feet, moving to the soles of your feet. Go back to the chair you're sitting on, whatever you're sitting on. Feel your body rest upon your seat. Feel your body resting. As you breathe in, bring your focus to your lower back. Next breath in, take it to your middle back. Next breath in, take it to your shoulder blades. From your shoulders, move your focus down to your elbows. From your elbows, move your focus down to your wrists. Notice the palms of your hands. Notice the fingers on your hands. Bringing your focus to your face. Notice your eyes. Notice the darkness. This darkness that you have awareness of. Notice your awareness, if you can. Notice that you can move this awareness towards the back of your head too. In fact, you can surround your entire body with this awareness. This darkness that you see. Allow your eyes to relax. Move your focus to your tongue. Allow it to soften. Notice the roof of your mouth. Place to relax. If you can detect anything in the body that's dominant. Now move your focus to the center of your chest. Notice how you feel. Do you feel settled? Do you feel unsettled? Next breath out, begin to listen to the sounds around you. Notice the sounds. Well, just follow it and notice the silence at the end if you can. And as you listen, not listening to anything, simply listening. And in the listening, we begin to receive. Gently bring your focus just beneath your nose. Begin to notice your breath. Begin to notice the length of the in-breath and the length of the out-breath. Allow the breath to breathe by itself. Try and stay with the breath. Now begin to follow the out-breath all the way till the end. And you will notice at the end of your out-breath, there's a tiny little pause. See if you can. And with every out-breath, allow yourself to move deeper and deeper into this moment. Stay with your out-breath. Keep going into that little gap. Stay with your breath. Notice how you're breathing now. Does your breath feel light or does it feel heavy? The breath indicates our state of being. As the breath gets lighter, our state of awareness begins to shift. Stay with your breath. Does your breath feel long or does it feel short? Does your breath feel warm or does it feel cold? Does your breath have a sound? Does your in-breath sound the same as your out-breath? Listening to your breath. And the more intently you listen, the more you hear. On your next breath out, just open your awareness, still listening, listening to all that's around you, allowing it to come to you, not looking for it, not seeking it, just open, listening, listening. Listening. And for this final bell, allow yourself to completely let go. Just immerse yourself in the sound as best as you can. This stillness and silence is your truth. It is your essence. Notice your presence, that you are present in the truth of silence and stillness. Unfathomable, unfathomable, infinite, whole. And this is your power. Just to sit in this peace, is enough to disrupt any energy that disturbs. Becoming the oasis in the darkness. Acknowledge your experience. Let us move a bit deeper into the silence with this other bell. Remain solid in your truth. Remain solid in your silence and stillness. Knowing that you're not alone. Knowing that you're safe. Knowing that you're whole. Gently bring your focus back to your breath. And just sit with your breath. Notice that you're still sitting on the same place you started. Notice you can sense sensations when your body makes contact with what you're sitting on. You can sense your thighs all the way down to your feet. Your chair, your stool, your seat is still holding you. Your back, shoulders, arms, and hands are relaxed and comfortable. Eyes are still closed, mouth is still closed, face is relaxed. Bringing your focus back to your breath. Breathing in, you can sense your body. Breathing out, you can sense your body. Setting the intention to come out of our meditation. Savoring the moment you have. When you hear the next bell, drawing a few deep breaths in, and in your own good time, opening your eyes. Hope you're back. Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining us. We hope to see you again. Know you're safe, trust the process, and know you're not alone. Together, the whole becomes bigger. Thank you very much. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be peaceful, may you be safe. And you are.